All right, let's take a little bit of a different approach to farming tier 16s today. Normally we go out into tier 16s, we kill some harbingers, we do some loot boxes, we get some fractures, and we're pretty content. We sell all that stuff and we make some money. We're targeting a specific audience with those type of loots, but today I want to try and do something a little bit different. We know one of the biggest farming strategies in the game right now is back to basics tier 17 farming. We know that tier 17s are very high in demand and people are paying a pretty penny for tier 17 maps. If we go and we take a look, each of these maps, depending on how we price them, and we look in orbs, we see that certain maps are cheap, they're more in bulk, and we see that other maps like Citadel are a little bit less. We know that a lot of these maps are really, really, really expensive, and some are on the cheaper side. The reason this is certain maps drop certain fragments in tier 17 that are more catered towards the Maven, to Searing Exarch, to Eater of Worlds, and so forth and so on. Some maps are better catered and, you know, designed to go towards doing like the back to basics strategy, or people want to do Sanctuary for the wide open layouts, or people want to do the curation farms. Personally, me, I like the back to basics on Fortress. I like back to basics on Abomination. When I'm doing things like curation, I like Sanctuary. So I have a bunch of different reasons for tier 17s, just like a lot of these guys. But these guys need to buy the maps, and you need to know how to get the maps. And today when I was streaming earlier, I decided to try a map farming strategy that you guys gave me. You know, my Discord posted a map farming strategy in the Discord a couple weeks ago, and I looked into it, I tried it, and it was a lot of fun. I kind of forgot about it. I started doing other things, and very recently they were talking about it again in the Discord. It was like, hey, you should do this. This is a lot of fun. We've been trying this. This has been working, and I went and gave it a shot. Essentially, what I was farming today was I was farming a bunch of tier 17 maps, and alongside of that, I got plenty of Shaper maps, I got plenty of Elder maps, and I got a really weird amount of Conqueror maps. So this strategy overall is really good at farming 17s, and it's really good at farming all of the other unique maps. Pretty much what we're doing on the Atlas tree is we're tailoring our Atlas tree to a couple of things. We're tailoring our Atlas tree to the map tier up node so that we can force all of our maps to tier 16. Having all of our maps go to 16 allows our watchstones the ability to convert them to 17s. You get more % chance for your maps at level 16 to convert to 17s per watchstone. So we get all of our watchstones. We force all of our maps to tier up as high as possible with all of the nodes for map tiering up nodes. And then we're taking all of the nodes at the top of the Atlas tree that give us increased chance for Conqueror, Shaper, Elder, and Synthesized maps. Alongside of that, we're taking all of the map effect modifier nodes. We're taking a bunch of really cool Scarab nodes. I took Seance and Unrelenting Torment. I don't know if Seance and Unrelenting Torment are good and are worth it. They do add a lot of quant to the mobs that they target, and they can target the, you know, the good rares in the map, so they might be worth it. And we're pairing this with Ritual. We are adding Ritual to this because Ritual adds a lot of natural mobs to the map, which I really like and will make sense very soon. We're also making sure that we get 4 rituals in every single map to maximize the amount of mobs that we get in the map. Now, we're pairing this with a map farming strategy where we're going to have the Horn Scarab of Pandemonium. This will allow a 15% chance to replace the pack, or have a pack in our map have an Atlas boss. Modifiers to the final map boss also apply to these bosses. So that means that all of the map bosses will have a chance to drop Synthesized maps, they'll have a chance to drop Shaper Elder maps, and they'll have a chance to drop Conqueror maps. So that is really, really, really good. Oh, also we're doing Destructive Play, but we'll get there. With that, because we're adding so many random Atlas bosses to our map, we really want to make it so that the map bosses will drop a unique map. And I know somebody's going to be like, oh my God, unique maps aren't worth it. They're super cheap. They're really bad. Don't do it. Why are you doing it? It's not worth it. I know that's what you're thinking. And I've heard this time and time again. But when you pair this Scarab with this Scarab that says tier 14 plus maps found in your area have a chance to drop a Shaper, Guardian, Elder, or Conqueror or unique Synthesized map, that means every time that a Pandemonium Scarab triggers on a map pack, that map boss drops a unique map. That unique map will actually have the opportunity to drop as a Shaper, Elder, or Conqueror or Synthesized map. I have been actually testing this with the filter that I have on now. I have the filter, and you'll see when we do a map, when we kill the unique map boss, it'll drop a unique map. And when eventually what will happen is, as you do more of these maps and you start killing more of these unique bosses, they will not drop unique maps anymore when they're supposed to, because the maps will convert to another one. And then we're just adding for the fact that maps can be duplicated. So 30% chance for all the maps that we find to be duplicated. And this works in unison with everything else. So we get a unique map boss, that dies, drops a unique map, that map gets converted and then is duplicated. And it works absolutely swimmingly, without a doubt. Now, this influencing Scarab conversion, I have been told, works like this, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I have been told that when you open a map, it will choose Shaper, Elder, Conquer, or Synthesized map, and every time this triggers, you will always get a map of that tier, which is why when you have these weird lopsided amounts of the maps, that's why that happens, because this Scarab is picking a type, and that map will drop that type. So that's why we have 34 Barons and 9 Droxes, because when we hit Guardian, we hit a lot of Baron, which is really weird. By the way, if you're running this and you try this and you get really lopsided results, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really curious about that. So that's what we're doing. We're also pairing it with Destructive Play. I like Destructive Play a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I originally, when I started doing the strategy, wanted to do the Elder, or the Shaper, not the Shaper, what are these called? The Conqueror maps. I originally wanted to do Conqueror maps. I didn't have any. I had Shaper maps. I started with Shaper maps, and I started running Shaper maps, hoping to get a nice even split of these maps. Unfortunately, I didn't get a nice even split of these maps. I do think Conqueror maps are the better maps of the sets to run if you're doing Destructive Play. If you're not doing Destructive Play, or you want to keep costs to an absolute minimum, Shaper maps are going to be your best bet. I have learned that many people do not know this, that when you take a Shaper map, and I really don't want to identify this, but I'm going to do it for science. When you take a Shaper map, you can actually Orb of Horizon it into the other Shaper maps that you're missing. So that's really good to know. You cannot do this with the other maps or the other types of maps. Shaper is the only one that you can do this with. Alongside this, since we're doing Destructive Play has been updated to say that the least amount of mobs left in the map indicates the amount of extra bosses that you'll get at the end. So you're really incentivized now to clear as much of the map as possible, which makes Shaper really good for this, as all of the layouts for Shaper are extremely linear, and you can get from the start to the end. You know where it's going. The layout's always the same. Nothing changes. And it's really easy to see all the mobs in the map, and you really don't miss anything, and it ends up working out really well. I am personally playing a build that I have designed to be able to run all map mods, and I run these maps unidentified for greater pack size. I do not identify these maps. When you're running this strategy, if you're playing a build that can't do these maps unidentified or ain't modded, you want to make sure that you make these maps as hard as you can, or as juiced as you can, as pack size when you do this strategy is really important for the Pandemonium Scarab. The less pack size that you have, the less opportunity for map bosses that you have. So we'll put these in, we'll do this. As far as extra content that goes, I'm personally not doing any extra content. If there's something that you want to do, you could select it on the map device. Oh, before I do this map, let me bring this up. A lot of people today, when I was doing this, had mentioned that there is an alternate way to do this with shrines. That you can actually do the Domination Scarab of Terrors. Shrines in your maps are guarded by an Atlas boss. It is very similar strategy. It is slightly different, as you're looking for shrines and you to place the Pandemonium Scarab with the Shrine Scarab, and you would take shrines on the Atlas device. Will be different. You will be able to find the shrines, you will go to the shrines, you will kill the shrines. This is a completely different strategy with the same exact outcome. Both strategies are really good, and at the time of recording, this Scarab is 1 divine per 3, and these are 1 divine per 3. So based upon what you can get should dictate the kind of strategy that you should run. Also, if your character is on the weaker side, doing the shrine setup is really nice, because the shrines give you an extra set of boost or power that'll really make for your character to just kind of like go through things. On top of that, I think the shrine maps are probably faster because you can see the shrines on your map and you know exactly where to go and you don't have to look for the map bosses that spawn. While you do a strategy like this, you have to look for the map bosses. Now, I really like destructive play with this setup. I have talked to people in Twitch chat and they have told me that they are doing non-destructive play. They're doing altars. And I think no matter which way you cut it, as long as you keep the basics of the strategy the same, where you're hunting the packs of bosses and you're looking for the map conversions, it's going to be really good. There's a gentleman who does toxic sewers. He doesn't do destructive play. He does the exact same setup, but instead he adds altars. He runs around, he collects all the altars from map dupe nodes, and then he goes back around the map and he kills all the bosses. I think that is an extremely viable strat. I know a guy, Blossom, in solo Self-Found, who's doing the terror strategy with the shrines. He gets about an average of 1 tier 17 per map, and it works out really, really, really well for him. And honestly, like, with there being so much variety to Path of Exile and so much room to test different things, you as a player should try the different strategies yourself and see which one you like better. I personally really enjoy doing this. I think it's a lot of fun. I like the Shaper maps. The only thing I don't like about Shaper maps is I hate Chimera. Chimera is like the absolute worst thing in the world. And like doing Chimera, just terrible. Now you see right here, we got a Ziggurat and a Shipyard. We didn't get a unique map. That map boss right there, he converted his unique map into other maps. This one dropped the unique map and he dropped, you know, another map. That one dropped the unique map. That one didn't convert. The filter, you can really test and see which one of these guys does and does not drop unique maps. And it becomes really easy to actually like see that the Scarabs are really working. Like I said, you know, you should really experiment. This strategy has a lot, and I mean an absolute ton of wiggle room for you to experiment and try different things. The strategy too, like if you don't want to focus on Scarabs at all, you can put all of the extra points into June. June is really good and really easy and really quick. If you can't do Seance, you can take out all of the Seance nodes and put them into something else. You should figure out what you can handle and what you can do. Did I not have Maven on this? Did I forget the Maven? Did I mess up? Oh no. No, I did a Phoenix. Oh no, I need a Minotaur and a Hydra. Yeah, it's okay. I guess we get to do another map. But you'll start to see right away, that last map wasn't very juicy. It didn't have a lot of extra map bosses. But this map, you know, we should see a very big difference. This is an unID map with 39% pack size. This strategy really, and I can't emphasize this enough, really, really, really wants you to make your maps as strong as possible and as juicy as possible. And you really want to make sure that you get all of the pack size in. I do think there is a world where running maps, like I think it's like Underground Sea, is like a really, really dense or high dense map. And there is a world where it is a better choice to run a non-destructive play setup and do maps that are just high in pack size and very linear and very straightforward that you can just run through. I've heard very, very, very good things about Toxic Sewers. I've heard good things about Underground River. And you should really tailor that to what you want to do. Also, I'll include a link down below. The POE wiki has a list of which tier 17 maps drops in which map. So like the Shaper maps, for example, can drop all of the tier 17 maps and you get a nice variety of tier 17 maps. But if you're somebody who really wants to just hunt the most expensive tier 17 map, you really want to pick a strategy that kind of goes towards that. So like, for example, if you're doing Conqueror maps, you can re-roll all of your maps to Castle Runes. I think Castle Runes drops Abomination or Fortress, one of the two, and you can just spend all of your time just re-rolling all of your maps to that and never doing destructive play, and just specifically targeting tier 17 maps and specifically targeting Elder Shaper, Guardian, Conqueror maps. Both are very, very, very reasonable and well worth doing. Now, in the old days, if you killed the map boss too fast, she wouldn't time to up the stakes. But now that is no longer a fear. You can go into the boss room, you can absolutely decimate the boss and pretty much just go about your business. So what do we need? We need a Hydra map. One of the things that I really like about doing what I'm doing is that the Maven will spawn on our maps. And when you witness a map with the Maven, you have the opportunity for Awakened Gems to fall. There are a lot of really expensive Awakened Gems. And I don't expect to get an Awakened Gem that's worth a lot of money. but putting myself in the position for it to happen is better than not putting myself in the position for it to happen. Also, thanks to the new changes that we have with invitations, I don't need to worry about buying a formed invitation and doing these maps. I think shaper maps are like 8C or 10C a piece, something like that. Don't quote me, we'll have to double check the price. But with how cheap the maps are to run, adding in the invitation for free and getting Maven fragments, the Maven invitations sell for 0.8 of a divine. Like, you really honestly can't beat that. Like, just adding in for free, and you get extra fragments. You can sell the fragments, you get extra maps, you can sell the extra maps. If you're lucky, you get a awakened gem. If you get a bad awakened gem, you buy the beast, you convert it and re-roll it into a good awakened gem. And, you know, just adding in the Maven, it adds a little bit of time to the map as you have to like do the invitation and stuff, but overall it just gives a lot of extra benefit. And this you see firsthand right now why shaper maps are good. They're extremely linear layouts, but as you can see, because we're not doing shrines, we have to look for all the map bosses, so we don't know exactly where they are. The maps take a little bit longer. So depending, like I said, on what you want to do, how you want to handle it, you know, you pick the strategy that is for you. Me, this Frostblades character is an absolute blessing. If I wasn't using my hands to talk and I was focusing, I would be, you know, just whirling bladesing all around the map and not really focusing on anything. I did originally try this with thorough exploration on, but I didn't notice a big difference in anything, so I took it off to like fit more mechanics. Whoops. I took it off to fit more mechanics and do other things. So that is an option if you want to mess around and try it. I didn't really like it, but maybe you guys know something that I don't know. Oh, look, a fortress map. So I encourage you guys to explore and try different things. If you try different things and you find something that's really cool or a really refined way to do this build, or not this build, but this strategy, please, by all means, leave a comment down below. I will pin your comment so other people can see it. And, you know, we'll just get the information out there. But you see now, like, I did my 4 maps, or I guess my 3 maps or 2 maps it should have been, and I messed it up. I go in here, I get an invitation, I alch the invitation, I val it, whatever. I do this really quick, I kill these guys, and we just get extra loot that goes alongside what we're doing. And it ends up, you know, working out really well at the end of the day. Let's see, where's Minotaur? Nice. What do we get? Ooh, an Orb of Conflict. Wait, that's sweet. So, you know, 6 Crescent Splinters. These are 9C apiece. An Orb of Conflict. This is, I guess, a divine. You know, we get our fortress maps. The shaper maps are 6C each. So it costs us 6, 12, 18, 24C in maps. These are 3 to a divine. So you're looking at 1 div, like 40C. These are a chaos. These are a chaos, and I know the other one is roughly like a chaos. So you're looking at like a div and a half for 4 maps. We did 3 maps and an invitation. So if we just like remove, we'll just remove this out of the equation, right? We did 3 maps in front of you guys right now, and we got all this loot. So these are the 4 maps back that we ran. This is almost 2 divs in tier 17s. And then we got all of these maps, and these maps too, they're like 6C a piece. It's a really simple down to earth strat. It's really quick. It's really easy. And it's just something that I figured you guys might be interested in knowing about, and I can share it with you because I know there's a lot of people who are looking for ways to make currency, and there's a lot of people who are still struggling in this league. And honestly, like, just farm tier 17 maps, man. You can even run these too. Like, if you get sets of these, you should be running these because power charge rings are crazy. And, you know, I'll make a video and talk about that if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But, like, those are insane to run too. And, you know, honestly, give it a try. You know, for how much tier 17 maps are, if you get a ton of them like I have and I've been doing, you can sell them in bulk and make a pretty penny. And you sell them right on bulk, right on the trade site. And, you know, before you know it, you're a couple hundred div up because, you know, I got a lot of maps, man. Can't make it up. The only thing that sucks is I wish I had more Drox. If I had more Drox, I would definitely be doing Conquer maps. I love Conquer maps. Conquer maps are sweet. But for now, friends, let me know what you think. And if this helped you or you like this, please don't hesitate. Leave a comment, a like, do all that fun stuff. Share the video. It really helps the channel grow. And honestly, friends, I wouldn't be here without you. So for now, I'm going to get this video out to you guys. And I'll see you all in the next one.